So India have won the World Cup, and do you know what? They probably deserve to win it. India ended up scoring 176 for 7 from their 20 overs, and that was replied with 169 for 8, a game that scored Virat finally back in the runs, although he probably scored them too slowly, playing for that 50 in the final. But then again, if he goes early, then this is a completely different chase for India, so you have to give him credit where credit's due. I did feel like he batted too slowly, though, and was definitely playing for that 50. When he brought up that 50 or 48 deliveries, you think, has he caused some problems here? I don't know. I didn't think that it was his best innings, but it's what you've got to do in a final sometimes. Runs on the board is far more important. Axar Patel, 47 from 31, was just incredible. Like, it was a really, really good knock from him. You had a Shivam Dubé, 27 from 16 at the end, and then even Hardik, 5 from 2, smashing a 4 at the end, was exactly what they wanted. Marco Jansen has had an absolute shocker of a game today. 1 for 49 from his 4, where all the other South African bowlers went for at least under 10. I think pretty much 9 and under. Rabada had 9. Norkia picked up 2 for 26. Maharaj 2 for 32, and bowled pretty well. In reply, though, South Africa were 13 for 2 at one point, with Hendricks being bowled by an absolute beauty from Jasprit Bumrah, and just like one of those fast bowlers dismissals that you just see so many times, and it's just the one that it just drifts in and then bang, cuts back, top of off. You just can't play it. The batsman just looks stupid, just stands there and doesn't quite realise what's happened. The game has kind of changed a little bit, though. Quinton de Kock and Tristan Stubbs put on a partnership of 58, which made it a lot more interesting until Stubbs was bowled by Axar Patel for going 7 foot outside off stump and being bowled at the base of off stump. It probably wasn't his smartest shot, but he did enough. 31 off 21. Then Quinton de Kock was next to go. He went 39 for 31. Again, a bit of a stupid dismissal from Quinton de Kock. Trying to play, he's just hit, who was it? Arshdeep. He's just hit him for a 4 over kind of a backward square leg, kind of deep fine leg, kind of just almost on the 45 on the boundary of the leg side behind square. And has tried to play exactly the same shot. Rohit's moved a fielder into that exact spot, and he managed to find Kuldeep Yadav pretty easily. And then the game was changed again. You'd got to say, when Quinton de Kock was out, it was up in the air. I mean, I fancied Miller and Klaasen at the time, especially with a lot of spin to be bowled from India. They obviously kept the 2 Bumrah overs back, but I mean, we'll get to that. But yeah, Klaasen, 24 off an over from Axar Patel. And the game was done at that point. It really was. I don't even know what... It was like a runner ball at one point that South Africa had to do. It was just, it looked so easy. It really did. And I have no idea how they bottled it. So at the end of the 15th over, South Africa needed 30 from 30. After Klaasen had absolutely destroyed Axar Patel and smashed him for 24 runs in an over. He brought up his 50, but then it was Hardik who bowled the next over after that. Managed to pick up Klaasen with his first ball as he went. And it was just, well, no, it was Bumrah that came on. His over went for 4. Then Hardik bowled the over after that. Managed to get Klaasen, who edged behind to Rishabh Pant. And then the game changed again. Like, the game really just kept changing. It was topsy-turvy. There was a point where South Africa were just nailed on. 30 from 30, 6 wickets in hand. You do just not lose that situation in a T20. Like, it really shouldn't be losable. And I have no idea how India have got back into the game, but Jasprit Bumrah just proving again that he's the best bowler in the world. So going from 30 from 30, Bumrah has 2 overs left. He bowls it the 15th and the 17th. They go for 6 runs, then it's a completely different game at that point. I think they were looking at 21 from 12 at the end, and then again there was a good over from Arshdeep. Didn't go for a lot. They took a single at the end of the 18th over that I wasn't quite sure on to get Maharaj on strike. You kind of feel like you want Miller on strike, and then he couldn't really get the ball away. We come to the final over, 16 from 6. Now, not out of the realms of possibility, this. It really wasn't. And a full toss is bowled by Hardik Pandya, and it should have gone for 6, and it very nearly did. But Sky has pulled off one of the greatest boundary catches you will ever see in your life. I mean, literally unbelievable, genuinely unbelievable. He's managed to say, I was convinced that he stepped on the rope, but looking at it about 8 times that they did when they were going through the third umpire, he hadn't. It's completely clean. It was a great take if he just catches it and doesn't have to deal with the boundary. But the fact that he had to deal with the boundary as well and catch it, make sure his feet are in the right position, throw it up, catch it again, just absolutely unbelievable. Things that you see so many times now from boundary fielders, but just doing that at the stage where if you drop that or if your foot touches the rope, you've probably lost your country the World Cup. And with all the pressure that comes from India, it was just absolutely incredible from Sky. It really was. The ball deserved to go for 6. I feel for David Miller. I thought there was still, while he was at the crease, you felt like there was still a chance. But no, at the end of it, Pandya cleans up. Klaasen, Miller and Rabada, who spooned right up the air to finish with figures of 3 for 20 from 3. For me, I wouldn't have him as player of the match. I would have had Jasprit Bumrah as player of the match. I think they'll probably give it to Kohli for his 76. But I think Bumrah's won them that game. I think his 2 overs at the end, just going for 6 runs. I mean, he's got for 18 runs from his 4 overs. He's definitely my player of the match. I thought it was India were the best team of the tournament. They should have lost this game. They really should have. That Axar over just completely put them out the game, but they did manage to fight back. And I don't know if it was India, winning it or South Africa bottling it. It felt like South Africa were bottling it. Even with Bumrah's 2 overs, even if they go for 6, I mean, you're still looking at, what are you looking at from that? They had to take advantage of the Hardik over, and they just didn't. Rohit Sharma, the way his bowling went is that he needed to get 2 overs out of Hardik and Jadeja. He went with 2 from Hardik and they didn't go for any runs, and they had to target them with not being that frontline option of Arshdeep Bumrah, Kuldeep or Axar Patel, the ones that Rohit has just been so reliant on throughout this whole World Cup. But no, absolutely unbelievable from India. They break a 13-year curse. I'm just amazed that they managed to get over the line. There was a point where I was like, no, it can't just keep going on. India have to win a trophy at some point. It would have been nice for South Africa to win it, but their first final, so not a lot of people in the South Africa team have been in an international final. So you've got to say hats off to them. These 2 were the best 2 teams in the competition, and if you had to pick one, India were probably favourites on paper and were probably the best team throughout the tournament. So there's a lot of people that are saying that the T20 cricket is just a coin toss at the end of the day, and if anything, we've actually got the result that we should have got in the 50 over World Cup. India were the better team in the 50 over World Cup, and Australia got over the line in that, but that's cricket. Cricket's a funny game. It's whoever turns up on the day. You do think if India were playing a Australia or even an England, to be fair, 30 off 30, they probably would have got over the line. But South Africa in their first final, history of bottling stuff, pressure of a nation on them, and they couldn't finish this close one. They've won pretty much 7 close ones so far, with the exception of the Afghanistan game, and couldn't get over the line. I feel for them. I really like this South Africa team, but today they were just let down. I thought they bowled poorly. I thought Jansen was really bad. They pulled it back at the end, but I thought they could have restricted India to probably 160. In the end, I thought that they just let them off. There was too many balls in the slot, especially for Marco Jansen, who got an absolute beauty when he was batting from Bumrah as well. But India 100% deserved to win the T20 World Cup. Hats off to them. Does this bring in a dominance of India now? Now they're finally over the line, broken that 13-year World Cup curse. I don't know, maybe. What's going to be next? We've got a Champions Trophy, and then they're probably going to play a World Test Championship by the time it all comes around, because I expect this team to beat Australia in a Test series later this year, because they always seem to win in Australia. So I don't know. It will be interesting to see what happens. So you'd imagine they'd have a Champions Trophy, they'd have a World Test Championship, and it wouldn't surprise me if they start winning everything from now on. This team looks very good. The way Rohit's got on performing so selflessly as well. I think the only time that they've strayed away from that today is obviously Virat Kohli's going for his 50 rather than trying to play for the team, but maybe an anchor role was needed for that innings, but I thought he could have attacked a little bit more. That is my only thing that I will criticise India for, but apart from that, they were great everywhere else. I thought they were pretty good in the field, especially that sky catch is just, I mean, that's going to be on repeat for days now. But yeah, really good performance. Unlucky South Africa. Congratulations, India. Bring in the Indian century now, and it's just going to be the next 50 years of dominance for an India side that probably should have won more in the time that they've had already. But guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I very much hope you enjoyed it. If you do like cricket videos like this, just me chatting, talking about various cricket games, we have got an English summer. We've got an India and Zimbabwe series coming up just after the World Cup. We've got Major League Cricket coming up. I will be making videos on all of those things. So remember to like, remember to subscribe, put that bell notification on, and I'll see you in the next one.